Hello everyone and welcome back to another video, and in this video I'm going to be trying to answer the question of where is Factions 2. So any of you watching this video are probably aware that the PlayStation Showcase has now happened, and I will touch on it briefly, but the main topic of this video for me is trying to establish when we can expect the second Factions, if at all. So what I basically want to consider today is, based on the information that we've recently had from Naughty Dog's Twitter, and a message which I will display in a moment, what can we glean from that, and how does this affect the future of both this current Factions game, which you're seeing on screen now, and the second Factions. So here's the message that they shared on their Twitter. It says, "The Last of Us fans, we know many of you have been looking forward to hearing more about our Last of Us multiplayer game. We're incredibly proud of the job our studio has done thus far, but as development has continued, we've realised that what's best for the game is to give it more time. Our team will continue to work on the project as well as our other games in development, including a brand new single-player experience. We look forward to sharing more soon. We're grateful to our fantastic community for your support. Thank you for your passion for our games. It continues to drive us." Now, interestingly, looking at this particular post, I think we can take away from it a number of things. First of all, the language in this post is actually really vague. It doesn't give us a whole lot, which makes me believe that they don't really have much of anything at the moment. Now, I know Bungie obviously had some sort of involvement and didn't think that their project was ambitious, but I actually think it goes further than that, and that they don't actually have much of anything at the moment, which, considering we've waited 10 years, it's just not good enough, really. The other thing that I see in this is that they have a whole paragraph there dedicated to this single player experience that they allude to, which seems to indicate to me that they actually are pushing their single player experiences, probably even more so than this Factions. So what can we really take away from this post? Well, to be honest, not a whole lot. I mean, again, going back to this whole single player reference, Naughty Dog have always been known for their single player games. Anybody that's been a Naughty Dog fan for years, like I have, will have played, games like Uncharted. Again, all these fantastic games of single player experiences. And don't get me wrong, they're all brilliant. Naughty Dog are a fantastic storytelling company, but they are dictated by the wants and needs of Sony. And I think the honest truth in my mind is twofold. First of all, they never expected this Factions, the one that you're seeing on screen now, to ever be anywhere as close to the popularity as it has been. So they probably released this knowing that some people would play it, but the main focus, of course, was on the absolutely fantastic single player game for this particular Last of Us game. And I think that's part of the reason why they never released a multiplayer experience with Factions with Last of Us Part 2. And the other thing as well is that I think the other issue is that they don't actually have a set direction that they want Factions 2 to go in, because I know that they've been experimenting with different ideas around whether to make it a a battle royale or something similar to this game. Now, if anybody like me, if anybody is like me, then they would probably want something similar to this game, similar in format, similar in combat, gameplay, that kind of thing. To me, if they stick true to the formula, then I can't see any reason why they would go wrong. That being said, I do also think that judging by what we'd seen at the PlayStation Showcase, a lot of what they're catering to now seems to be more towards a younger audience. So again, the whole Battle Royale thing with Fortnite plays right into that kind of thing. Now, if I'm being candid here and completely honest and transparent, my excitement, my hype for the second factions, unfortunately, is really starting to wane. And I say that with a heavy heart because as somebody who's played this first factions for almost 10 years, I've always craved a second factions. We need something new. We need something exciting, something to get us going. But I just don't see it coming. It's definitely not coming this year in my view. It's certainly not coming next year. I reckon 2025. Now, if we're being optimistic, say if they even released it on the 1st of January 2025, that's still 583 days away. And I don't even know if this game that we're playing at the moment has got a lifespan of 583 more days. I don't know. I genuinely don't know. And that's kind of what worries me, is the fact that the support for this game has been completely non-existent for the last 9 years. They've done nothing for this game, patches, DLC, anything, since December of 2014. And to me, that is just not really good enough. They've kept the servers open all these years. They've closed them on PS3 now. They've been closed since, I believe, September of 2020. Might be a little bit, or it might have been September of 21, something like that. Anyway, they've closed quite recently. But again, it just shows a complete lack of kind of any desire to improve this game or to give it any kind of credibility whatsoever. But again, I feel like that comes down to they underestimating the popularity of this said game. So it kind of begs the question then, when can we expect Factions 2? I know I've alluded to 2025, and I think probably that's going to be the way. But I'm really not sure at this point. I'd say, without being somebody who is closely related to Sony, it's kind of difficult to give you an estimation, to be honest. I mean, if I were to put my money on it, I would say probably the year after next. I mean, like I say, in the couple of years that we've had some updates about Factions 2, we've had a screenshot, which you'll see on screen now. But again, it begs the question, even with that screenshot, what can we actually glean from that? It's like not a whole lot. And then we had that video leak a couple of years ago with what was perceived to be Factions 2 gameplay on the Lakeside map. And again, like, it gets a little bit of hype going. You think, oh, brilliant, Lakeside's making a return, they're sticking to the formula, making improvements to it. But is that really the case? I mean, I don't know. I really, really don't know. And like I say, going back to Naughty Dog's Twitter post from the 26th of May, it just really seems like at this point that they just don't have a plan. They don't have a vision. I mean, they keep saying that, their vision for Factions 2 is more ambitious than it's ever been, and yet there doesn't seem to be any evidence for that. Um, and again, I've heard speculation that they're waiting, they're trolling, or whatever it might be. They're keeping things in reserve. But I mean, why would they do that? If they've got such an ambitious project, surely they would want to generate some kind of um, some kind of activity for it. But what it seems like they're just doing to me is generating hype and excitement around their other single player projects that they've got going. And I mean, judging by the history of the company, I feel that that's hardly surprising. But again, where does that leave us as a community? What can we expect to see? And again, even looking at this screenshot, the word setback and delay appears again, and it just feels so vague, so nondescript. There's nothing there that gets me really excited about anything at all. I mean, I know some people are holding out for June 14th, but I honestly think at this point we can't expect anything. And I think it's just better to continue, the passion for this game, for the first factions, continue to show some loyalty, some support, for this particular game. And this community here is still alive and kicking. There's still people playing this game to this day. And it shows. And I think, to be honest, that's all we can really hope for. So yeah, I think that kind of sums up my thoughts, really. I don't think we'll see Factions 2 anytime soon. I don't think we should be getting our hopes up at all for anything. And I hate to be so negative because I want something. I want there to be something to get excited about, but I just don't see it now. But yeah. Thank you guys very much for watching, and please leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section below. Till next time, watch your six and keep your damn hands off me.